build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance that's bit in his eye. Oh, well, they gave me balls, but I can see between to a dusty yard and long gone green. We call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I drown my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober as a judge.
Hello everybody, welcome to Longbangers, Shortbangers. Having a big look up to my right there for Brian's benefit. I'm Matty. I'm joined by Brian. How are you doing, Brian?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well.
Good stuff. And John, how are you doing, John?
I am good. I'm guessing you've not got the episode number written on your ceiling, no?
10.
Is it? I thought it was 8.
Nah, 10. The 10. Well, we're doing the 10th one now. I'm sure that's right.
This is why I always muck up the number of appearances Lewis Stevenson's clocked up for Hibs. I'm always adding stuff where I shouldn't.
Oh, I'd have no chance if they were expecting me to kind of total it up. We could be on any number, eh? It'd be like picking a number out of a hat. 15 would be the answer. the way we years of his career. Right, short bangers, usual. We've got 20 minutes on the clock. We'll go through questions that folk have sent in. But before we go into that, I got a funny message through from Debbie earlier this afternoon. She just listened to Long Bangers from Tuesday night, and she said, "Good episode this week. Re the best derby, the Scottish Cup replay against Hearts in 2016. I was sitting in the famous 5 with my pal, and the last in front of us was with 2 guys who looked like they were probably her dad, uncle, stroke family member. She was sexting her lassie on a lesbian dating app. I spent more time looking over her shoulder at the pics of fannies and tits she was getting than I did watching the match. I've never seen anything like that at the football. Best derby was the 3-1 Ian Catherine derby, though, in terms of actual football. Have you ever had an experience like that at the football, guys?
No.
No, exactly. I think I was in the West Stand once, and there was a boy that kept leaning over and whispering to the young girl that he was sitting with, and I gave my mate a nudge, and I was like, "What do you think that is?" And it just looked really, really dodgy. But he reckoned that he was maybe describing the match to his blind or nearsighted daughter. So I felt pretty shit about that.
Right, here we go then. Right, we'll get into the questions. I'm just going to set a timer. I've never experienced anything like that, to be fair. And in the West Stand, given the age of the demographic there, it's probably not what you would be wanting to see anyway. No. Right, 20 minutes on the clock. Here we go. And the first question comes from Down the Slope podcast. Curly fries or crosscuts stroke lattice fries?
Curly. Every time.
Curly. I feel like anything with lattice in it is Tory fries.
Tory fries. Tories are the bad guys. Well, I was going to say they're now, but they're always, and especially when it comes to kind of depriving folk of chips. So I'll go for curly fries as well. I think that's the only acceptable answer for that one anyway. Alan Tennant, brown sauce or vinegar with chips from a chippy? Again, there's only one answer to that one as well.
Brown.
Brown sauce, but if I was to go for one at the moment in my Curvy Nisbet to Captain America Nisbet, it would be vinegar, because I'm pretty sure it'll have less calories.
But it'll taste shit. End up eating something else on the back of it.
Maybe. But
definitely.
Brown sauce is always acceptable. Vinegar, not so much.
Nah. You don't want to be having vinegar on a chippy. Right, Mark Cochran, has anyone actually seen graffiti being done? I mean, the proper stuff on bridges, etc. Multicolour.
No, actually, never.
I've never seen it getting done. I've seen folk writing on buses and bus stops and school tables and things like that. But no, proper.
Do you only get good graffiti in places where you're likely to die? So like bridges, like train bridges and that, because there's always good graffiti as you're going along the Livy North to Edinburgh Waverley line.
So like if there's a dangerous element to it, you mean?
Aye, like I wonder if that maybe brings out the artistic, the artist in us all, just the fear of death.
Extreme spray painting.
Extreme colouring in. What's the best graffiti you've seen? Or most memorable?
There's an underpass just in the road for me that's got to smell your mum.
Brilliant.
Not graffiti, but at the start of lockdown when we were all stuck in, you had all the posters up, thank you NHS and rainbows and everything else, and it was a picture I'd seen of someone that it was 2 A4 bits of paper they just sellotaped together on their window, and all it said is, "This is shite." Which I think just summed up the mood of the nation. It was brilliant.
Well, I like if you're of a certain vintage and lived in Edinburgh, you'll probably have seen like the graffiti that you used to see kicking about the town, and because it would refer to someone near where I lived, there was Marilyn Clark, age 36, for the Joe has AIDS. You used to see that kind of randomly about the place, sometimes on railway bridges and stuff like that, or on the buses, etc. And I never knew her. That's where I stayed, but that message has stuck with me all my days. Here I am, 42-year-old, nearly 43, and I still remember it.
McCabe is a grass. There's another one.
McCabe is a grass. That one's legendary as well.
Aye, there's a Masonic Hall near me as well that's got spray painted on the side. I can't remember the name, but it's something like Stevie's a ball-bag.
Well, I ken a guy called Stevie, and that's fair. Right, Aldo A112 said, "What's more of a turn-off for a woman, belly fluff or sock fluff between the toes?" How would we ken?
I would say it depends whether she's into oral or digital pleasure. Giving or receiving. Like, are you...
You're meaning your laptop, John, are you? You're meaning...
Basically, are you Katie Price or are you no? Anyone that's seen the Dane Bivers video will know what I'm talking about.
Is that whose toe it was?
I fucking was, aye.
There you go, learn something new every day. Andy King, I don't think we're well placed to answer that one. Stuart Wilson, who'd win in a Greco-Roman wrestling bout between Jimmy Boko and our 2007 League Cup starlet?
Martis.
Why?
He's got the height advantage, isn't he?
And we've all seen Boko's not got the strongest chin, has he?
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
So
might be the first Greco-Roman wrestling bout to be won by technical knockout.
Just basically shouting Martis, shelling footballs at him before he even gets in the ring.
Aye.
Right, down the slope again. Second question for them. If you played for Hibs, last minute winner against Hearts, what ground and what end would you want it to be at?
Brian.
Capello.
What fucking parallel universe are we playing Hearts at Capello?
Don't know, I've just never been there. It'd be nice to mark my first appearance with the winner.
I say this with
Snowing, it was shit. We won though, so that was better. I 1-0. I think Cummins came on and scored a free kick.
Did Hibs win that game?
Aye.
Were you there? Did you get one of the free buses that Hibs were putting on with Marathon Bet?
Pass. I think that was that game. I'm not sure. I got the ticket fee off one of the other guys on Hibsnet. They couldn't go and offered the tickets, so we got the tickets for it for free. But no, I took the car. I drove through.
I know I was on that bus. I actually quite like those grounds, but so didn't take it the wrong way when I say that Capello is a shithole. I do really like shithole grounds.
Aye, it was snowing, wasn't it? It was freezing cold. That's what I remember most about it. Freezing cold. The game was pretty crap, and we scored late on. So at least it wasn't a completely wasted journey.
No.
Right, John, which end are you scoring at? Which ground?
Oh fuck! I thought I dodged that one. I was talking to one of my mates recently because I'm absolutely convinced that his wee laddie Daniel is going to play for Hibs when he's grown up, and I was saying how much are you going to enjoy it?
Already, if he's got a wee laddie.
I said to him, how much are you going to enjoy it when your laddie banjos in a winner against Hearts at Easter Road in front of the famous five and he points up to you? So that's what I would go for. Whether it's friends or family, I would be pointing towards them.
Aye, I think a Hampden winner in front of the Hearts End would be good. And just seeing all the faces, kind of the scarves getting launched onto the pitch and the wee fights breaking out and all the rest of it, the poppies getting stolen in anger. That would be me.
Just think of the Sosie celebration. They had too much class to celebrate in front of them. He just took John Hughes back to the Roseburn.
Aye, well, no risk of me having too much class for that. So, right, next
But to
question.
run the length of the pitch back to the
Aye. That's also true. Right, next question. Mike was asked, what's the dish of the day for the guinea pig tonight? So, Dave, I think we'll be getting basil. The night he had kale and cucumber, but he's a fussy wee bugger and he's not eating the kale, so we need to get him something different tonight. Right, also for Mike, which part of a kid's movie scarred you for life? He said Fox and the Hound. That broke my heart and still does. So were you scarred for life in any kids' movies?
I'm going to be honest.
When you were a kid?
I've got to be honest. I put on Free Willy yesterday for me and my daughter, and after about 5 minutes, she basically fucked off and started playing with her Peppa Pig toys and whatever. I watched the rest of it, and I'm not ashamed to admit. In fact, I am ashamed to admit I was pretty much greeting at the end.
Have you seen Up? If you talk about greeting at a kids thing, have you ever seen Up?
No.
Aye.
Oh my word! It's like I had no idea what to expect from it. You see, it's like a Disney Pixar or whatever. You think this is going to be good, put on with the kids, and although I won't spoil it, but it essentially just shows a relationship between a wee laddie and a wee lassie, and they grow up and grow old together, and she gets ill and dies. But it happens in this like a montage in just like a couple of minutes, and you're sitting going, "The fuck has this happened?" They're like, "Oh, lips trembling and everything." Like, what's this saying to me? Put Toy Story on.
I'm not prepared for this.
I can't deal with it. Aye, John, did you have one?
No, that I can think of off the top of my head, but Big was always a wee bit shifty for the wee laddie getting pumped by the older woman, even though he was in a grown man's body.
Aye, that's right. Morally, is that right? Is she a wrong one for doing that, or is it acceptable under the circumstances?
To the viewer, it's definitely shifty. Like, she was unaware.
What was the film Mannequin? That's got to be worse, is it not?
That's one of the greatest films of our time.
That's what spurred my interest in mannequins.
I used to work beside a guy when I worked at McDonald's, and he said one time that when he was bored, that he would go up the town and just go through like the department stores and see how many pairs of tights he could. Like, just like the dismembered legs that have tights in them before somebody kind of clocked him. He would just stroke the tights.
I want to go back and revisit John's stunning admission that he has an interest in mannequins. Stage is yours, John. We're all here for you.
Kim Cattrall. See, honestly, when I found out that the mannequin for Mannequin was Kim Cattrall in Sex and the City, I lost my shit. Kim Cattrall is very, very tidy. But then I've also probably got an unhealthy interest in the redhead for Sex and the City, I know.
There's a Family Guy describes Sex and the City as 4 prostitutes and their mother. Right. Next question, Ron Burgundy. What's the weirdest Hibs dream you've had?
Brian?
So, well, you're thinking, I woke up one time, so I have this thing that if I wake up, when my alarm goes, I kind of have a dream explaining it, but the dream always kind of sets the scene as to why I don't have to get up. So there'll be some elaborate story about why I can ignore my alarm and just go back to sleep. And now that it's happened so often, I'm aware that this is what's happening. Now that I get up, so I didn't sleep in for work. But there was one morning, and my dream was that rather than going to my work, I was pitching to Hibs. So in the West Stand, where they have kind of the working together meetings and stuff, I was there pitching to Hibs about why I should be an agent to the players, and fucking PowerPoints and everything for it. Yeah, and then obviously I realised this is nonsense. I'm obviously not doing that. I need to get up for my actual job. So that was probably the weirdest one. Fucking boring as well. Imagine You could have I suppose if you're dreaming that you're scoring goals for that, it's not that weird. So I've had those dreams, but pitching is pretty shite.
Aye, nothing especially weird. I've had the one about scoring for Hibs, but I've had the one where I'm trying to get to Easter Road, and no matter what happens, every turn, every bus, every taxi, every train, everything is delayed. I don't know what it is. I've got this. I hate missing kickoff. Absolutely detest it. And I think that's probably what spurred that dream.
I'm like that, Brian.
I'm the same as you, John, and that's why I don't go. Oh Jesus, that was my watch. Shut up. Watch started talking to me there. I'm not sure I understand. That's fucking 2 years in.
His Alan Stubbs, his man. He's better than
No, none I can think of.
All right, next question then. Again for Ron Burgundy. If Anne Widdecombe and Anne Budge had a cooking contest, whose pie would you eat? Like Shite Britain Bake Off, wouldn't it?
I'm not touching anything that Anne Widdecombe's been anywhere near. So there's something about how do I put it? I'm going to say unclean. I'm going to try and be kind and say
she's like the Emperor of Star Wars.
Aye, what's his name? Like the big creepy flesh dying dripping off him. Palpatine. Aye. So you're liable to find a fucking finger in her pie or something.
Well, that's worse than
than eating her pie.
Or your own finger.
Well, reckon, do you think Anne Budge's pie would come out of incomplete? Or would it be missing several key components that she forgot?
She's forgot to order the pastry, hasn't she?
Aye.
Ken, what it would be like? It would be like the trifle at Friends. It would be half trifle and half shepherd's pie. Because she got her brother-in-law to make it or something.
Next question, Kaiser Soze. You finish the podcast and walk outside to find a £10 million winning lottery ticket. What do you spend it on?
Oh, fuck me. Brian?
I'm getting £10 million for that job.
How much? How much are you going to How much are you going to pay to shag me? Come on.
I'll see how much change I've got in my pocket.
Boy, this escalated quickly.
Aye. Oh.
10 million. First things first. Well, mind you, you can't really fly anywhere just now, can you? I always said if I won money, I wouldn't tell anybody. The first thing I'd do is book a flight and go abroad somewhere for a week and just equip myself with a pen and a paper and a calculator and spend the week working out who's getting what and then come back and just give them the good news.
Ken, how you went to Turkey recently and you didn't tell anyone for a week. Did you win the lottery?
No, unfortunately not. No, I didn't win the lottery, John. But I've actually become quite obsessed with it lately. So I now play it every single night. And weirdly enough, because I'm getting no numbers at all, like not even one, that's making me more and more certain that I'm going to win big. So you're probably best sticking with me because you're going to come into money soon.
It'll be worth it in the end.
Aye.
Maybe get us into an actual podcast studio.
Aye, that's what I would spend it on, is like somewhere with decent microphones and sound and a bit of privacy. That would do us. Right, 150k in Hanlon Hill. If you were stuck in a caravan and the door is jammed and won't let you out, who would you want to be stuck with for 14 days and why? Come on, John.
Brian?
Craig Levine.
You never get to the toilet, Brian.
That's very true. No, I'd choose Craig Levine. It'd be nice to spend 14 days with someone that's actually a bigger loser than I am.
John.
Brian. Same reason.
Touche.
Right. Next. Bob Mortimer.
Oh, that's a shout by the way.
Was that?
He's not going to shag you.
Oh, okay, but he cooks and he's funny, so that would do. Right, at Roy M62, he said, my brother died 20 years ago. We scattered his ashes on the pitch before the 6-2 game. Should I get a kick in for not keeping some of his ashes for each derby?
No, and I'm going to explain my logic. He scattered all of presumably his brother's ashes, and Hibs won 6-2. So if he'd kept a little bit, would Hibs have had a lesser result in that game? If scattering the ashes resulted in the 6-2 result, it was absolutely worth it. So
you say like a 6-2 is having that big bang is better than having a series 1 or 2 nothings.
Aye, everyone wants one big bang instead of a series of little bangs, surely.
Aye, we'll take that. Brian?
Well, using your logic, if his brother was morbidly obese, would we have won 8-2?
Maybe. Aye. Don't know. If there's any morbidly obese people out there that are Hibs fans that we can cremate, I would.
I've got my hand up. I'll do it.
I'd
like to put that theory to the test at the next derby.
No, I think 6-2 was. Well, I'll put it this way: that was what 20 years ago to the day.
20 years ago today, yeah.
I think all the victories that we've had since then, I would struggle to give you the correct score lines for all of them. Whereas 6-2, just well, ironically enough, you're taking that to the grave, aren't you?
It's a funny thing because remember, growing up, obviously it was 7-0. My dad would talk about it. You'd still, I mean, Hibs fans still reference it, but that was what 72. And when with the internet getting popular at the end of the 90s, you're thinking, Christ, that's 20 years. Folks still going on about this this game, getting the 7-0, and here we are 6-2. It's kind of achieving that sort of length of time. So, and it doesn't feel like 20 years ago. You remember it vividly. All of it, you kind of seen it a lot because it's on, it's captured on video, etc. So we'll talk about it for years to come. So you definitely would take, I suppose, that bigger score. Nobody remembers they do remember them, but not to the same degree. The 1-0s and the 2-0s are not with the same fondness. Right, last questions come from Paul Walker. The acceptable date to put up a Christmas tree?
Never.
I've never put a date on a Christmas tree before. John?
Anytime after
the 15th of December. It's no Christmas until after the 15th. Because
maybe 12 days before and 12 days after, isn't it? That's like
bollocks to that. Speaking as someone whose birthday is the 15th of December, my birthday gets overshadowed and has been overshadowed for the last 37 fucking years by people putting up their Christmas trees in fucking November, so you can wait.
All right.
Doesn't sound upset at all, does it?
No, doesn't at all. Right, that's the time where we'll finish the questions for Paul Walker. He said the all-time top 3 favourite crisps. We've probably covered this before, but we take one each. I'll go for bacon. Bacon Walkers, they'll do.
Oh, you fucker. Wait, I'm only having one here. It's Royster's T-bone steak. They're still top of the tree for me.
John?
Mackey's tangy tomato, I believe it is. They're really good.
And his last question, he said this one's stolen from Gordon Smart. The most famous person you've had a pish next to?
Don't know. I definitely have at some point. Someone's going to remind me, but I'm drawing a blank for now.
So I've Gary O'Connor was probably my one, just at the behind the goals. No, behind the actual goals. So the bar goals and the famous 5.
In the same cubicle?
No, I wasn't that fortunate.
That was very subtly asked, Brian. I like that.
I have none. We've discussed this before. The only famous person I've met was Tony Drago, and he was playing snooker at the time. So it would have been inappropriate for me to get my little banger out.
At the Crucible. Right, that's well.
Tony.
We had. I probably should have went for this one at the start, but Kaiser Soze actually also sent in a suggestion for cunt of the week if you were to pick one. So I would go for any Tory, given what has happened over the last 10 years. But that's my one. Boris Johnson, take him.
I'm going to say aye. That wee sort of Penfold looking gimp yesterday that did the right honourable lady call me scum? Yes, she did. Fucking take it, goggles. It is what it is.
John, you got a nominee?
Aye, all of the above, but I'm going to add in Nigel Farage for trying to come across as Mr. Nice Guy. Fuck him.
Aye, right in the ear, prick. Right, if you've got as far as, we will be back on Tuesday with Long Bangers reviewing the Kilmarnock game and looking forward to the Cup semi-final. And also we announced yesterday on Twitter and Facebook, you might have seen it, that we will be piloting a new non-football related podcast probably next week at some point as well. So watch out for that. And if you have anything you think we should talk about, send it in to us on Twitter as well. Catch you next time, and thanks for listening.
On the dry county line, I pledged upon. Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't